A blue theme.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're wearing blue. I'm wearing blue. I got blue lights behind me. Everything is blue. I like blue. Blue's
Yeah.
my color.
Yep. Blue's my favorite color.
So it was orange, but I switched to blue. Everyone's like, "Oh, you look so good in blue." So, welcome everyone. It's Thursday, so welcome to the Brian and Dan Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm Brian Shepard, and we're joined by my
Me,
co-host.
Dan Payton,
That's
author,
right.
artist, rambler, and I'm here.
Absolutely. We're lost. I almost didn't know who you were because there's no banners. There's you've.
Yeah, I know it's hard to tell who I am behind me because without my name sitting back there, I can't look at the screen and go, "It's Daniel."
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I need to get onto Facebook here, and I need to start sharing. So if you're watching from Facebook, hello and welcome. Say something in the chat room. If you're watching from YouTube, I have like 1920. Well, we have 1920 subscribers on YouTube now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
Mhm. And I have to throw a shout out to Instagram because, I'm also on Instagram. Dan, you're on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We follow each other. So I think because of the show and things I've been posting, I'm now like over 100 followers on Instagram. So that's a big deal, folks, for me.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I've been trying to get more presence on Instagram myself, so yay! We already have Amber and Valerie here. Hello, both of y'all.
My aunts are here. Hello and welcome. I do have to talk to my aunt. And so let's recap. So tonight, technically, there was supposed to be a guest
Mm-hmm.
who was
Jody Lynn Nye was going to be our guest tonight, and she's special. She's an author of many books. She's also one of the heads of the Writers of the Future contest, which for in the science fiction fantasy world, that's a really big contest. It's been around for a long time, and I was really looking forward to having her on and talk about it. But unfortunately, weather kind of got in our way. I'm not sure what it's like where Brian is right now, but today we started out the morning at 50 degrees, and before noon it was below freezing, and now we're sitting in the single digits, and we've gotten over 5 inches of snow since noon. This morning again, 50 degrees, it's raining, and all the snow we'd had melted, and then now we're buried again. So, and where Jody lives is not too far outside of the range of this weather, and so I believe she got caught in it on a traveling because she's heading to all kinds of events. So
right. Yeah.
she was expecting to be here. She really was, but weather got in our way. So it's just the two of us tonight.
Yes. I know that a lot of people are experiencing some horrible weather.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it started out, I think we reached 51 up here. It was breezy, it was windy. So no rain or anything. Everything was melting, has melted, and now it is reading. Well, it's still reading 53 out there, but I don't think that that's correct. I think it's now down to like 48. It's raining now, so now we have the rain. So tomorrow is also supposed to be near 50s, and then we're supposed to go like that to like bitter cold. So it's coming, yeah. Unfortunately. So
I'll pass it on to you.
yeah, right. No, I don't want any more.
Yeah, I always tell people that snow is going to happen. You can either love it, you can hate it, but you can't change it. So I enjoy it. Even now, I'll go out. It's beautiful when it falls. It's so nice, and everything looks so nice. But there is a point where you just kind of get tired of it. And
Right. Yeah.
being a Southern boy who barely grew up around snow, I love it because of that. But at the same time, I'm ready for it to go away. It's been a lot this year for us. We've had snow on the ground longer than I've ever had living anywhere this winter so far. And the irony is, we still didn't have a white Christmas. It was still above freezing and nice and basic on Christmas. And it was after Christmas that all this snow and stuff landed on us.
Yeah, I don't want any more. I'm done. So I hope that this that little rodent was wrong.
Yeah.
by saying we have 6 more weeks of winter. So I think he was wrong. But yeah.
My prediction is that we'll start having an earlier spring than people are expecting. And this because just from my own personal experience and weather, when you have a heavy, wet, snowy winter early like this, and earlier in the winter, do we have all that and really hitting us, then it will turn about and turn into a wet, heavy spring with lots of rain and unfortunately thunderstorms. I personally, and this is my prediction, I'm seeing a much heavier thunderstorm rich springtime this year, but I don't know where. It's going to be nasty. So hold on to your britches. It's going to get out there.
Well, I think we need a good storm around here.
I've been through my fair share of them. I have been through weather that most people have never even experienced in their life. I've never been through a hurricane. I think that's the only thing I've never been through when it comes to hurricane, but I've been through just about everything else.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't either. My grandmother's here. Welcome. Hello. Jess. Jessica. What's up, girl?
Jessica
is my inventory specialist at work. So she is a fellow coworker who has recently found the show and has started watching it. So hello and welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Again, she has come on a night where there's no guest. Unfortunately, it's just Dan and I. But, like I told Dan earlier, or no, it wasn't you I was telling. Somebody else I was telling, because they were wondering if there was a guest, and I was like, no, there's no guest, unfortunately, or whatever. And they were like, well, listen, Brian and Dan are the main focus. The guest is just the bonus. So people come to see us. That's more important, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We're so entertaining. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we try to be entertaining. We try to be entertaining anyways. When there's a guest, we're entertaining. Not to say that, when there's no guest, we're not entertaining. Anyways. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Where are you in the book world? What's happening with you?
Well, I've got good news. I've got bad news. Good news is
let's start with the bad news.
Oh, bad news. Well, okay. I've been talking with some professionals in the industry who are more connected than I, and right now, behind the scenes, the book industry is suffering. And now the big book industry. I'm gonna say, in publishing, you have the big five. Those are Random House and Penguin Press. These are the big publishers that have been around for centuries now. And they are the behemoths of publishing. However, they are on their knees crawling right now because production. And what's happening in the publishing world is the fact that we have a production problem. There is not enough paper to print books. That sounds weird, but we, as in the United States, get most of our book printing paper from China. And a lot of the places in China where they produce paper is like villages. There'll be a city, a city or town or something like that. That's their main industry, is they produce paper. Well, in China, they have reacted to any kind of COVID sign in a city by shutting the whole place down. And so you barely get these paper mills operating, and then they shut them down. Operating, and they shut them down. Well, that kind of interruption wrecks paper production.
Right.
Problem we have is all these big companies, and the United States government signed contracts with China years ago, making them the exclusive producers of paper for the printed book of those companies. Right. So these companies, how they operate is a very old model. This has been a bad model for the past 15 years. It really needs to be phased out, but it's how it worked for them for so long. They've stuck with it. And that is, we have a new book coming out. So Penguin Press, one of their different various companies, is going to order 10 million copies of that book, warehouse them, and then contact Barnes & Noble, Border Books, Books A Million, and go, okay, how many do you want of these millions we've just got printed? Well, when you don't have paper, You can't print the books, and so they can't. That model is literally not working. It's falling apart. And so they have a queue, a line of authors that books are ready to be produced by these companies. They've already contracted, edited, prepared, and ready to produce them, sitting in line. The books are back about 21 months worth of book production of established, ready to go authors. So people like me, I'm with some smaller presses, and I have a book I'm trying to present to one of these bigger companies. Well, I can't, because they've shut their doors to anything new because they can't produce it. Why buy something new when you've already got a line of authors waiting to get the books put out? And I understand that. It's totally just a production problem. So we're all kind of sitting back and hoping that this, finds a way to fix itself in time.
Well, I mean, if they need paper, I mean, they can come to Staples. We have paper, but I have heard of the paper shortage. I'm well aware of it, people. It's real. I even had to take, paper off my sales floor, so not to sell it all at once. I still don't, but yeah, it's real. There's a shortage for it. So
I'll say this: I'm not trying to start a panic. I'm not trying to say this is big scary, because the paper production problem is primarily hitting the big publishing because of those old contracts. And China is a very, very sue-happy country. If one of those companies said, shoot this, we don't want any more, we're going to buy our paper from a paper mill here in America, China will stomp over here with a bunch of lawyers, get their ambassadors involved, and it gets into a big problem. There are paper-producing companies here in the States, in Europe, in Africa, and other countries that are not constrained by this problem. Hemp paper production is actually going up very fast here in the United States, and they can't produce paper for the big five on book production, so they're producing paper for like Amazon's print on demand. That's the thing is don't get worried about publishing as a whole. The publishing industry, the old stock, is suffering. The new stuff, the small presses, the indie authors, the print on demand people, they're flourishing right now. They're doing great. So it's a sweet and sour situation for this. I hate this. I want everybody to be succeeding, but I like my publishers don't use that model, and they're not beholden to these contracts. And so when you order a book from Cosby Media or from Ambassador International or from Amazon Services, you're going to get a book. It may be a little delayed because everything's delayed right now, but it's not stuck because of China's paper problem. So again, my problem is I'm trying to get a book in one of the big companies, and those big companies are just saying no to everybody regardless. It's just no more. We're not doing it.
So that's the bad news. You are on the list
of just holding and waiting and staring at the clock.
And the good news.
Now the good news is I've got a list of things. I have a comic book coming out within the next few months, and we're finishing the artwork on that one. The artists and the company making those has already done. We have 4 comics coming out to start the debut for Star Child Comics from Cosby Media. Mine being one of those 4. Several of them are already done completely. So very soon, I'm going to have a full-fledged comic book coming out with my superhero character of Bark. So that's some great news. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I've always wanted to see my stuff as a comic book. For my online game, I've got a big story that I've been working on for like 6 months now that I'm about to launch. The story, actual people can go on there and finally read it. And I'm really excited about this one because, again, this has been the weirdest experience. I started writing this back in August with the anticipation of publishing it in the game for game value back in like October. Well, then the game, the other developers were like, oh, no. We need to have some Halloween stuff. And then we need Thanksgiving. Then we got to have Christmas. And we have a special event called Frostuary. Then we're going to do Olympics. Everything kept pushing it back. So I would get a little time to write on it and then work on something else. A little time to write on it, work on something else. But over the past month, I had everything done. Everything was running out smoothly. I had time, so I finished the story. So all the players, people, that's going in there. But what's really fun is that the developers have taken some of my stuff and they're using it to develop another game. And the game is was kind of struggling to get its feet on the ground. But then the people playing it to begin with started reading my stories that they used for this new game and loving the story so much they started playing more and getting more people involved. It's growing greatly. And the head of the company came to me and said, it's because your stories.
Right.
It's like, awesome. I love that. People reading my stuff, I'll take that every day. So that's good. And I'm beginning to work on a sequel to my Owl-Headed Wand book, which is actually the one I'm promoting to the bigger publishers. So I got irons in the fire. I've got stuff going on, and I've signed up for 5 more Comic-Cons this year.
Oh, anything close to me?
No, I'm looking in your area. I had one that I'm thinking about in Bangor, Maine. How close is that to you?
Say that again.
I have one that's in Bangor.
Bangor.
Mm-hmm. That's one that is supposed to be
In Bangor.
Bangor. Where is that from you?
Bangor, Maine. Oh my lord. Bangor, Maine is probably. Of course, he's never around. He's the map. That's a distance. It's a distance. I have a sister that lives up in Maine. Bangor. I'm gonna have to look it up. But if I had to, I would go there. I would absolutely drive there.
That one's a 15-hour drive for me, and most of mine I have to drive because I have so much product I bring with me. So that's part of my thinking is how I want to do these. But I'm looking forward to them. I am going to be going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is for a very small little Comic-Con there in Gatlinburg, but apparently it gets really good attendance. And I'm a friend of mine suggested it. Someone I've met before is Kimberly. Sorry, someone's pushing me. And she played on Halloween Town movies and a whole list of stuff. Yeah. And she's going to be there. And so she actually sent me saying, "Can you want to come to this one?" I'm like, "Sure." And so that one's going to be fun. But I am still waiting for the notification of yay or nay on this one. But I'm planning on being at Dragon Con this year, if at all possible.
Where is that?
That's in Atlanta. It's one of the biggest Comic-Cons in the world.
So Georgia.
Yeah, Atlanta, okay. Georgia.
Yeah. When is that? When is that?
That one is the beginning of September, I believe. So, no, I've been looking.
Keep Maine in mind. Keep Bangor, Maine in mind, because that one would be very, very doable. Absolutely doable for me. It would be. It's not 15 hours for me, obviously, but I mean, it's a distance to get up there. If someone knows, just let me know how far it is. I'll have to Google it. But yeah, I would totally do that. I'm just thinking of things because I want to take many trips throughout the year because I don't go. Okay, Jessica is saying at least 6 hours. Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, 6 to 7 hours probably. I do want to go to Maine, so I need to go back up to Maine. I need to visit one of my sisters, but there's also something up there that I want to do, and I was thinking of filming it. I guess my sister sent me some information. There's Arcadia National Park that's up there. Mm-hmm. So if anyone knows of it or not, look it up. It's a fantastic park. You can drive through and hike and do all that stuff. It's right on the coast. It's fantastic. So I was there the last time. But apparently if you hike, there's 2 abandoned old locomotives that are like in the middle of the woods on tracks that go nowhere. So they're just sitting there rusting away, and she sent me 2 pictures of them, and like you can go up to them and climb them, and there's nothing really left to them anyways, but it's really creepy and interesting to see. So I think I might do that. The other thing is I'm going to venture out to Pennsylvania as well. I'm thinking of hitting up Hershey Park and eating all their Reese's.
I might have to do that. I want to go to Hershey Park. I really do want to go to Hershey Park.
I've never been there. I know some people that have been there, but I want to tour the factory. I want to see how my Reese peanut butter cups are made, and I want fresh. I want one right off the belt. Give it to me. Yeah.
Maybe we should plan this together, and I'll find a way to get there, and we can do the park together as this.
I'm waiting because they're not open just yet. Some things are open, but I do want to go there because I at least want to spend a day there, and then I'd also like to visit Gettysburg too while I'm there. So I think that would be pretty cool. So, oh my God, people are talking. People are talking. Let's see, my aunt.
Let me ask: can anyone go to those? What are you talking about? The Comic Cons?
Can anyone go to those? Yeah, Ashley, I'm sorry. My aunt, I did put a question out there, by the way. I don't know if people saw that. We were talking about books. So if anyone's reading anything right now, share. Let me know what you're reading.
Yep.
I'd like to know.
Yeah, I think she was talking about Comic Cons. Yeah, Comic Cons are anybody can attend them. You have to pay for a pass to go.
Yeah.
And each day costs different. You can get a whole weekend pass. Dragon Con, Dragon Con covers like 2 weeks. It's really, really long. And so you buy that one by the week. But most of them you buy them by, you get passes. Some Comic Cons I go to, you get as the vendor, I get a handful of free passes I can give to people because I need helpers. But I'm doing one in Knoxville. It's a real small convention. And for one table, which is plenty of room for all my stuff, I get like 8 passes. So I'm like, I'm asking people who wants to go because I only need one extra one for someone to come and help me out. So, but yeah, for the most part, they do cost. Very few have I ever seen that don't have a ticket cost, but they do. And no, like Dragon Con, San Diego Comic Con, New York City Comic Con. These are really high dollar because they're big events. Smaller ones I go to, their average is about $25 a day for a full pass. And the thing is, you go to these and everything costs just like a theme park. So yeah, you get to go up and meet celebrities, but if you want to get a picture with one, that costs. If you want to get their autograph on something, that costs. If you want to buy a picture of the autograph, that costs. Everything costs. Of course, vendors are all there. Now there's like costume contests and panels and all that you can go to. Those things actually don't cost. I very rarely have ever seen a Comic-Con where you have like a panel of actors, all the actors from Walking Dead or all the actors from the Book of Boba Fett, something like that on stage. You just, because you have a pass to go that day, you can go in, sit, listen in, ask questions. So those things actually don't cost, except for the day pass to go to it. Which one in Atlanta? There's several in Atlanta, but the one I'm looking at is called Dragon Con. And Dragon Con is massive.
Yes, it is.
I'll say, Heather, my suggestion is if you haven't gone to a Comic-Con before, I would not pick that one as your first one to go to because it's very overwhelming. I wouldn't say don't go to it if you want to, but find some smaller ones near you. And I know Gwinnett County has some. I know Chattanooga, of course, Knoxville. They all have small ones. Go to a small one and kind of get your feet wet. Go in there, see what it's like, walk around, see the costumes, because Dragon Con will get literally, I'm not exaggerating, will get 100 times more people attending it than any other convention you're probably going to go to in Georgia or that area. It's massive. So it's like someone who's never been to a football game, you don't tell them, oh, go to the Super Bowl, because that's overwhelming. It's just so much. So I would recommend. Now, if you've been to them before, check out Dragon Con, but I would definitely check out a smaller one first.
Very nice. Very nice.
So other than writing, I've been pretty busy stitching this month because February is our stitch long. I do a lot of embroidery. If you like that right here, this picture behind me, that's a stitched piece. You can't see all of it. It's actually it's got pole work in it. It's not just a little symbol in there. But I do a lot of embroidery in February every year. But outside of that, I've been watching it snow and wishing it wouldn't. And now, Brian, you've been busy.
Of course I've been busy.
Earthquake.
Of course, I've been busy. I oh boy, yeah, I've been busy. Work has been fun to say the least. Stressful. I'm tired. Um, but I trudge through it. I get through it, right, girl? Right, Jess? Yeah, she knows what I'm talking about because she's right there with me. So the store has no manager, it has no assistant manager, no nothing. So, I mean, supervisors are running the store. And I have to say, on camera, so I can't lie that, I technically work with the best Staples team, period. Period. Everyone has stepped up. Everyone has been doing other people's roles and tasks and getting the store done. I've never I've never been at a job where I actually have made the district manager happy. She's left the store happy. I'm like, this has never happened before because you don't want the district manager to come to your store to do a visit. You want them to stay away. But no, she was very proud, very happy. And that's, Jess, Jess is like, yeah, we have a good team right now. Well, I do. I do. So, but yeah, it's still stressful because I'm stepping into a role. I'm not a general manager. I don't want to be a general manager. But I'm doing the best that I can and pissing people off along the way.
Yeah.
Isn't that usually what happens? When you step into that role, you kind of step on somebody and get them angry. So, but oh well, right?
I found in life if you don't have at least somebody who doesn't like you or like what you're doing, then you're not doing something right.
I know it.
Usually, when you're doing something right, there's going to be somebody who wants you to fail. So, making everybody happy at once is an impossibility, and usually leads to not being a productive person.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But other than that, yeah, I have been busy. I have moved on to the editing stage of the book that I am co-authoring with a friend of mine, and it's a process. I'm learning it's a process. I only went so far before I just handed it over to somebody else now. So they have the book and they are so when Dan mentions that, during the editing process, and they pick at your book and they remove things or they'll add things or doesn't make sense and they take it all out. They're like gutting your book. It's true. It's true. It gets so picked over.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm reading so far, it's like, wow. But it makes sense. It works. But at least the person who's actually doing the editing is like, hey, this doesn't make sense to me. This is why. Can I change this to this? This makes more sense. So I like the fact that they're actually not just going ahead and doing it, but they're actually like, hey, by the way, can we change the name or can we drop the name? So it's good to have communication, I guess, with the person editing the book. So, but I kind of gave them free range. Do whatever is necessary to a degree. You know what I mean? I don't need the whole thing kind of just ripped in pieces and stuff. So, but it's on to the editing part. So that's kind of like it's done. We're moving on. So
yeah, I'll say this: when editing a book, working with editors. Well, hello, John Clark. One of my friends joined in. When editing a book, a good editor makes suggestions. That's something that you have to come across with new authors, and to a lot of people, as an editor is a suggestion person. Yeah. However, they're like a doctor. A doctor makes a suggestion for you to take a medication, but they're going to tell you why. And logic is going to go, maybe I want to live, so I'll take this. But you don't have to. It's your choice. But that's the thing with an editor. And that's for editors typically use something called track changes, which is in most Word style programs out there. And so every time they make a correction, track changes actually just shows you which correction they've made. So you can see what you did before, which has a little dash through it, and what they've put in, which is usually highlighted a different color than the other text. So if you put an and here, and they're like, no, you don't need to and, they'll put a dash to there, and it just shows they took it out.
Yeah.
However, if there's a part of a page, a story where like this character says something, and you're like, and they say, I don't think he or she would say that, it's not in their character as far as I'm reading, they'll make a note onto the side in the same track changes that points to that thing. So suggestions, communication, editors should be very communicating prone when it comes to working with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you come across an editor who says, "Oh, I'll take it and fix your problems," and you get back something they've done all the work to put it and fix it themselves, they're not a good editor, because you don't see what they've done unless you go comb through it with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what they've done. Right. You should be able to see, because there have been many times in the editing for my books that I look at it and I'll see, rarely, but I'll see a place where they've changed the way something was said. And I'll look at it and go, well, no, I did that on purpose. I like the way that's said there. I'm the author. I have the authority to say, I refuse your suggestion.
Right.
Most of the time, especially when grammar and spelling come into play, I'm like, I take it all, because these people are trained in this way more than I am. They know how to do that better. I'll just take all that. But usually it's the personal opinion. I don't think he would say that. Well, not normally, but in this scene, he does. So I'm keeping that.
Right.
Right. So that's communicating with an editor is important.
Absolutely.
And a good editor will lead on your work. They will absolutely cover it in marks and everything. So I've had people I've paid, and this is where you got to be careful when you find freelance people who really aren't trained as editors. I've had people I've handed an 80,000 word manuscript to, paid them several $100s to edit it, and get it sent back to me with like 4 corrections.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm not that good. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm not that good. It definitely needs more than that. I know they really didn't do a job on that at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. My other sister's here. John Clark, you said, is here. Hello, welcome. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Hey, if anybody's watching this that's new tonight and you would like to, I'm offering free copies of my book, The Winter Wizard Chronicles, as an ebook.
What?
If you contact me on here, or if you contact Brian or myself and want a free copy, there's only one requirement. You read it, you leave a review for it on Amazon, an honest review. I'm not trying to get a 5-star just because they gave you a book, an honest review, but I will send you, and I'm not kidding, a free ebook for Kindle for the Winter Wizard Chronicles. And so I say this, for the most part, if I have a book out there that you want to read and you are definitely 100% going to leave a review on that, ask me. There's a good chance I will give you a copy of it. But this is the one I'm really pushing, because I'm trying to raise the promotional status of it. And a lot of, I say this all the time, but it still needs to be known, a lot of the promotional websites that are used by authors, smaller authors, require X amount of good reviews. Not even good, but just reviews on a book before they will look at you. And Amazon's algorithm promotes books to readers. That little suggestion on the bottom of the page when you look at the book says, books like this one on the bottom there, that's actually balanced off of reviews. If a book gets more than 50 reviews, they start to look at it for a few of those. 100 reviews, they will definitely look at it. I'm struggling to get to that 50 mark. I haven't even got to the 20 mark on the Winter Wizard Chronicles. So I need help. So if anybody wants a copy of the book, let me know. Let Brian know, and he'll definitely get my attention, and we will give you a copy.
I actually just gave someone my last copy of the Winter Wizard Chronicles to my coworker Griffin. So yeah, he was amazed that that was my face on the back of the book. So I was trying to explain to him that technically that's a new cover.
Mm-hmm.
My face was on the cover of the book once upon a time until
A bit of an upgrade to
didn't
the whole.
work out anymore. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, my mug needed an update, so to speak. So yeah, so if anyone needs to be reading any books, please read those. Yeah. I noticed that my aunt said something about books because I asked if anyone was reading anything. I'd like to know. I'm always reading something. So I noticed that she said that she was reading the Outlander series and the Game of Thrones.
Ooh,
Oh,
steamy.
I've have you watched Outlander? Do you watch
No,
any of that
I'm
stuff?
talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Have you watched Game of Thrones?
No, I tried.
Oh,
I'll be frank and honest with you. I don't care for the level of
exposure.
adult content. I,
Exposure. Oh yeah. Well,
and that's a personal opinion. I'm not saying you
okay.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
I always tell people that I have my own opinions on this, and I personally don't care for too much over adult content in literature, movies, TV shows. Just doesn't interest me. So I not my thing. I have had the one thing I will point out because again I'm nothing against Game of Thrones. People enjoy it, go right ahead. It's fantasy. I love fantasy. But I'll have people who come to my table when I'm still doing book signings. They'll see my Dragon Wand series, and they'll go, "Oh, is this like Game of Thrones?" And I'm like, "No, because it doesn't have all the adult content. That's really a big draw for Game of Thrones. Is this
Yeah.
adult level content? Mine's young adult, clean. It's not even as gritty as Harry Potter in places. So but yeah, Outlander and Game of Thrones. That's some pretty heavy reading right there.
I knew that Outlander was a series, but I didn't know that it was books as well. I started to watch Outlander the first season and I liked it. And then after that I didn't really watch it after that. I don't know what happened. Game of Thrones, everyone's seen Game of Thrones. I forgot that that came from the book, so I knew about that. So yeah. Um who else is reading something? John Clark. I'm reading the Awaken Online series. Awaken Online series. What is that? I'm curious.
You elaborate, John.
Yes, please do. And while we wait for that response, speaking of TV shows, so is anyone watching anything new? All these shows are starting back up. All these seasons are, your show is ending and something's coming up. Have you been watching anything?
The newest thing I've been watching, I don't watch a lot of television simply because I'm so darn busy writing and
Yeah.
producing and reading and all that. But Mom and I have gotten to have it every week. We watch the new episodes of 600-Pound Life on TLC.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
I have seen it. I know what it is. Okay.
This past season has
I've
been a
watched
little
it, so
disappointing because I think the way they filmed it due to the COVID situation
yeah.
is that they usually cover a lot of film time, time with the people. Well, this time they couldn't because they were restrained from doing a lot, and so a lot of the episodes seem to end halfway through what normally would have been a full episode. They get to a point at the end that was halfway through a normal episode, several years ago.
Yeah.
So different. And
Okay.
Heather says, "I do not read books." Do you breathe?
She does. She breathes.
I'm teasing.
She's something else. Unless she does audiobooks. She could. It's my own sister. I mean, she could. I don't know. We are watching the Book of Fett. Oh, watch. Oh, very funny, Heather. My goodness.
Well, the show is actually called The Book of Boba Fett. Isn't it Boba Fett or Book of Fett? I'm trying to remember.
The Book of Fett, I believe it is. Isn't that what it is? Yeah. I am watching that as well. The Book of Fett on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, that's where it is.
Mhm.
As you
I
can
love
see, I am a fan of the Mandalorian. I do like the Mandalorian there. That's my child. And what else am I watching? Snowpiercer. I don't know who out there is watching Snowpiercer. I know my aunt is. And my aunt has been dying for me to call her so that because she had watched the episode before I did. I just watched it before coming on to the show. I'm not happy. Not happy. But anyways, what else am I? Oh, John Clark. I'm sorry. Let's get back to his response here before we move on. It is a science fiction book series. It's about a retired programmer playing a virtual reality MMO called Awaken Online, sort of a upgraded World of Warcraft. Oh, I love World of
Okay.
Warcraft.
So the way I read that was Awaken Online series. Awaken Online is the name. So okay, this is this actual book. You're not reading like because there's like web series and stuff. Our last guest has an ongoing web series.
Oh, yes. Oh, so that's what that is?
No. I think that was my confusion because the name of it
Oh,
is Awaken Online, and that's a series. I was reading it Awaken an online series, so that's why I got a little confused there because I didn't know about that as an online series.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I understand. I understand it now.
You read books on the app.
Redict. Those are the ones with the, you can download the app. You get free chapters of the books, or you can pay coins to get to the next chapter, read ahead, or whatever. It's authors that come up with these stories, and they're just the serial. It's almost serial, literally. So every so often, a new chapter comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you want to read ahead, you have to pay to get the coins to then jump ahead chapters.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Yeah, you didn't know about like book apps and stuff like that?
Oh, I've known about that. I've never used these. I use mostly Kindle. I never used these. I know about them, but I didn't know that's exactly how that operates. I knew about the chapter by chapter. The Amazon now has that Vela system. They have all these different things doing that now. I just haven't actually personally got involved with that yet.
Right.
I've been so darn busy with My Heroes Rising writing. I've barely done any actual book writing in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I say that I wrote 2 novels last year, so okay.
True. But that's what that is. Yep. They love a lot of genres too. So
Sounds like fun.
I think it's more for new authors, and I think authors just writing stuff on the side and they submit it and stuff. It's good stories and a lot of different genres too. So, which is pretty cool. So they got things for everyone. All right, people. So if anyone's watching anything on TV, is there something I'm missing that I should be watching? What else am I watching? Gilded Age.
I've been watching Encanto today. I found that one. I really like that movie.
Encanto?
Mm-hmm.
I only got to a certain point and I haven't finished it.
Really?
Yes, the house was pretty much dying and they were like all leaving the house and everything, and then it just kind of disappeared. Right? And then I paused it right there and then I never went back. So I don't know what happens at the end of Encanto. I'm sorry. No, I heard it was really good. The music was kind of okay. I'm not one for musicals, but I like Disney movies, so I'll watch it. So yeah, I love Disney Plus. Yeah, the Gilded Age. Have you heard of the Gilded Age?
I think so.
Okay, are you a Julian Fellows follower?
No.
Okay, so do you like Downton Abbey?
Okay, no, I tried watching Downton Abbey. I enjoyed it when I watched of it, but I never really got into it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, it's the same person, but now we're in New York and it's 1880, I think, two or whatever. And he talks about the big, you know, rich to do people that are moving in on 60 or whatever street it is, you know, and the new houses are going up and it's the Vanderbilts and, you know, the railroad people. And, you know, it's really, I saw one episode so far. I didn't realize that it was 2 hours long. I liked it. I liked it. It's on HBO Max, people. So I
Ah,
liked it.
that's why I haven't seen it. I don't have HBO Max.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, HBO.
So many streaming services out there.
Yeah. We get HBO Max through AT&T, I think, or something like that. So
Yeah. We get a handful of ours through Verizon, so yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not one of them apparently because I don't have that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. John Clark. I'm watching The Legend of Vox Machina
Machina.
on Amazon Prime. Did I say that right?
Legend of Vox Machina.
Machina.
On Amazon Prime.
Okay, I said it wrong. Oh well, sorry. Never heard of it. I do have Amazon Prime, but I'll have to see what that's all about. Jessica, sorry, my phone's dying and I'm trying to cook, so I'm gonna say goodnight. Oh, goodbye. Go cook.
Okay.
At
Good night.
8:28 at night.
It's an animated series on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably why I've never heard of it. I don't watch that. So, although that's not true. That's a lie because I used to be a Sailor Moon fan. So, is that kind of considered an anime?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. I remember as a kid waking up really early before anyone and turning the TV on because Sailor Moon came on. I think it was like overnight or like way early, like 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning on some channel, and I can't remember what channel it was, but Sailor Moon. I remember Sailor Moon. So yeah. But anyways, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, Jess. I gotta work tomorrow, unfortunately. So, and I have to start working on Thursdays as well.
Oh.
But I'm not closing the store or anything, so I'll be working. I think it was 10 to 6. So I'll still be able to make it in time to have the show. They just know not to text or call me during that hour because I'm doing a show or whatever. So unless the store's on fire or you're dying, don't bother me for that hour. But anyways, so next week apparently we're hoping to have a guest, right?
Yes.
Hopefully. Okay.
The guest who is supposed to be tonight, we've pushed off till next week, so hopefully
Okay.
that will definitely happen. Weather providing, because considering the weather has been so crazy here, if we have weather issues, we should. And I have yet another guest for the following week. But that's still getting things organized.
Right.
Getting people all in the same boat is not easy, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the fun things that we've been doing recently is estate sales. Around here, we have a lot of estate sales, and so every so often, my father has gotten addicted to them. Goes to them all the time, and I'm not crazy about him personally. But then he'll find one or another that's just so interesting that he wants me to go and check it out. And this past 2 weeks ago, I think 2-3 weeks ago, there was an estate sale of somebody who was a jeweler. I don't know if they owned a jewelry shop or if they did made jewelry at home, but not crafty jewelry. This is high dollar jewelry, and they had tons and tons of gemstones that were out there on pallets that were individually priced for sale, absolutely dirt cheap. And so I'm a rock hound. I love collecting rocks, and I've always wanted a few special cut stones. And I bought myself a cut emerald and a cut Neptune topaz. which has a very unique blue tint to it. And I mean, I've always wanted a beautiful cut emerald, and I finally have one. But that was the weirdest sale I've ever been to, because I mean, I could not even count the thousands of gemstones that were in one room that they had all on display for people to pick through. I found a friend of mine a really beautiful red garnet. He'd always wanted a red garnet. So that's been kind of a fun little thing to do on Saturdays, is we find these sales and go, and well, I don't. My father will go check them out once in a while, and then or he'll have a crazy experience. He went to one a few weeks back that had a lady there collected salt and pepper shakers.
Oh,
Everybody collects weird things, and you've known that person who has like 100 coffee cups or something like that. This house had 2,300 pairs of salt and pepper shakers, and every one of them was different.
wow.
So that would be 4,600 individual pieces. And so, I mean, it was mind-boggling, all those. And my father picked out a handful. That my mother does this little table where her and her friends do a Bible study at our church, and they gather at a table. And so she got all these crazy antique ones and put them out there and said, okay, special gift, everybody pick an interesting salt and pepper shaker set. And the lady at the table, the head of the table, was just a little floored, because one of the sets was this, and I'm going to be honest, the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. Dumb. They looked like little tombstones, and they had funny stains on them, and they were, I mean, ugly. And she was just like mesmerized by them. Come to find out that when she was a little girl, her mother collected salt and pepper shakers, not like this, but collected them. And she had a pair of those exact salt and pepper shakers. And she, when her mother passed away, her other siblings just sold off their stuff, and she wanted those because she remembered them as a kid, and they just disappeared into the ether because there was, so whoever bought them. And these were those exact ones. Now, were they the ones she owned? I don't know, but
Right.
they were rather unique, and they're in this area, so it's not impossible that these were the ones that she had as a child. And we found them. Mom brought them and put them out there just for anybody to take. And she was just like, "I'm taking these home." And it's like that. That was a weird series of coincidence there, but my thoughts go back to 2,300 pair of salt and pepper shakers. I love collecting things, but wow, that's insane. I told Dad to look for any Disney ones. He didn't find any.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
I
I have too much stuff. I have too much stuff. Is there something? I mean, is there something that you collect more of that you like don't, and then you kind of sit back and it's like, did I really need all this stuff? What am I supposed to do with this stuff?
Yeah, I did that. I used to be a bad at overtly collecting. Now I love Star Trek.
Right.
We share that in common
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
And I love starships. And
Right.
so if you look behind me, I've got a whole collection. I collected these.
Yeah.
The Eagle Moss series made these little bitty die-cast like starships. And
Yeah.
I loved them. And so I bought the ones I wanted. I didn't get them all. I only got mostly Federation ones because I didn't care about the others as much. But I didn't want to bloat my room and my stuff with all these little figures. But once upon a time, back years ago, I loved collecting Japanese and Chinese art and decorations. And so I started collecting, and people would buy it for me. People would see it on trips. I ended up having boxes and boxes I would store away. And at one point, I just sat back and went, why am I buying more when I'm just going to put it in storage? What's the point? And so I divested myself of a lot of it that was just, the standard junk you can buy at little Chinese markets and stuff and malls and whatever. And I have some beautiful antiques and some unique items. I kept those. And over time, I have collected a few more, but they have to be very special. Because I know if I let myself go, I'll just, again, go into, oh, that looks cool, and buy it. Buy.
Yeah, I got too much stuff myself. So, and most of all of my Star Trek stuff is technically in a tote, buried somewhere. God knows where they all are. I don't have really any of it out, except for that guy there. That's about it, really. I think the rest of the stuff that's in this room is Star Wars. It's all Star Wars.
I'd say my best and favorite Star Trek collection though is my ornaments. I collect the Hallmark ornaments, and that one's a little easier because they only put out a handful of them every year.
Yeah, but they're expensive though. I'm
Yeah,
tired of paying. Like, my God, why do they have to be so expensive? Because they make music, or they talk, or they light up, and it's like, ugh. But when I saw that bad boy, that's an exception. Those are an exception.
Precious Moments.
I had to have
Gosh. Oh my gosh, Amber mentions Precious Moments. I grew up with family members who love Precious Moments. When I was a little kid on a trip to Branson, Missouri from Oklahoma, we stopped at the Precious Moments headquarters, which was there in Missouri. And it was a palace-style cathedral, and it was a big store, but it was also had all of their stuff. I want to tell everybody a little bit of a history here to understand what happened, because back in the 80s and early 90s to mid 90s, Precious Moments was the collectible for certain crowds of people, and people would pay thousands of dollars to get those little figurines, and Precious Moments would make a whole bunch of them for one set, and then they'd break the mold. So Precious Moments would never officially produce that one again. So that's how they kept it collectible. If someone made a new one, it was a knockoff because they only did it the one run. Now, they did tens of thousands in the run, not just like 500. And so back before a little thing called eBay, Precious Moments, Ty Beanie Babies, all these things were really expensive and really sought after because, oh, I've always wanted that one. I've never seen one like it. You have one? Well, I'll pay you this egads of money for that one because I want that one for my collection. Well, then eBay shows up on the scene, and you have millions of people across this planet going, ooh, I've collected my Precious Moments and my Beanie Babies and my whatever, and I'm going to sell them now, make all that money back, and put it on there. You and 50,000 other people today posted that same bear from Ty Beanie Baby that was supposed to be worth thousands, or that same figurine that's worth $5,000 5 years ago, whatever. But now someone clicks on eBay and goes, oh, click, I want that one. Boom, you got a menu list that's got 40 people on the first page alone that's all got the exact same thing. So you're going to scroll through that to find the cheapest one. And if every one of them is priced at really high, you're going to sit back going, well, there's a lot of them out there. I'm not paying for that. I'll wait till it goes down.
Right, yeah.
And so eBay wrecked the collectibles market for baseball cards, gaming cards, collectible toys, collectible figurines, all that. When eBay hit the internet, that collector's market absolutely died. Prior to eBay, the collector's market was one of the biggest things in the world. People would pay millions of dollars for certain baseball cards, hundreds of thousands of dollars for certain things. Then eBay hit the scene, and those markets went down. Only very, very, very few items in those collectible things remain high dollar because they only made so many. Or like the Mickey Mantle rookie card. There was only so many made, and it's also now 70 years old. So the ones that are left in good condition are rare. And that rarity is destroyed by online auctions. But I have family who were into antique collecting and all that, and those markets were just such a big thing. Limited Linda Rick Precious Moments doll signed. Yeah, and see that's the same. That's the good thing. First of all, for the collectors, and I'm talking from the perspective of a collector because I had family who are into this, and I like to collect, and there's a value market out there. First, if you aren't trying to buy it for the value of it, buy it because you like it. Don't buy it because it might be worth something, because might will never come about. You're going to have something worth $5, like me walking into those estate sales with shelves and shelves and shelves of Precious Moments and all those other things marked at $2 a piece. There's how much it's worth. Buy it because you like it. That's the first thing that collectors, as a collector, need to. If you're buying for value, make sure it has a very special value to it that is beyond its production number. Signed by the artist, or you have a picture of yourself with them when they made it, that kind of stuff, that will actually add value. I'm trying to think of his name, Jim Shore. Jim Shore does a lot of Santas and Christmas decorations that are special. And here in Michigan, there's a big Christmas store called Bronner's, and they specialize in selling Jim Shore in one part of their store. And he'll come to that store to sign pieces that he made. And if you are wanting it for value, you have to get him to sign it. And while he is in the process of signing, take at least a dozen pictures. Snap, 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 snap right away. Because then you can take the pictures, the signed object, him, and any certificate of authenticity to a pricing market, and they will, using the pictures, corroborate that it's legit, and then they will put an official price on it that's way higher than what you paid for.
Mm.
Yes, comic books. So yes, comic books. Those tanked because of the online market too. Yeah. Again, just like baseball cards, there are certain comic books, the detective series that has the original Batman and Superman and all that. Those are still worth a lot of money. But a lot of the ones in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that were the special edition when Superman died, or this or that comic that was a big.
Oh my goodness! What? I didn't know he died.
I remember it was the black cover Superman's death comic that came out in the 90s. It was such a big deal. They made the news covered it. It was this huge thing. They printed tons of them, but this again was before the online auction market, and so people went out and bought stacks. The comic book stores had to start limiting because jokers would walk in there who were not comic book collectors and go, "I want all you've got," and buy all of them, thinking that 10 years down the road, each one's going to be worth $1 million. Well, by 1998, when eBay hit the scene, those comics were worth about $3 each. So, yep. I have actually, my mother and my brother collected comic books back then, and so we actually still have the Death of Superman comic. We have a special edition for Fantastic Four. There was a crossover comic of X-Men and Star Trek they did that was a special one. I've got that one. I've got a few, but again, I bought them because I wanted them, not because I thought they'd be worth a lot. So
beautiful.
So that's the weird little tidbit of information you got from Dan tonight. The history of collectors markets.
There you go. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yep.
I think that's it.
And next week we'll have a guest. Yes. I'm going to.
God forbid we will have a guest next week.
If we are definitely 100% getting Jody Lynn Nye on here, who is our guest next week. She was supposed to be tonight. She was supposed to be last week. Everything keeps falling apart for that. We get her on here. She has connection to Writers of the Future, which is a big contest. And so tell your author friends to come on. She's great for answering questions about that kind of stuff. Do not come on trying to pitch anything to her. That's not what she's here for. But I do want you to come on, ask questions about the contest itself, about writing, all that. She is great. So,
well, I can't wait to talk to her next week. Hopefully, weather permitting, and nothing else comes up.
Yeah,
we'll talk to her next week. So we will see everyone next Thursday at the same time at 8 p.m. And that's it.
Yep. I will see everybody next week.
All right, everyone. Have a good night and a good weekend. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody. Bye.